Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to a whole new era of What Happened When with the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
How about that, buddy?
Dude, bravo to Mr. Mikey Ruckus, theme extraordinaire. He's made more themes than we can possibly count. He is the official man behind the music of AEW and now the WHW theme song. And shout out to Chris McDonald for overnight, in short order, putting together a pretty phenomenal little countdown video. Greatly appreciate the work of both Mikey Ruckus and Chris McDonald. We got a new look and feel today, dude.
That was pretty damn cool. I got to say, you're right about Mikey and Chris. Great work by both of them, and I'm really happy about it. You and I were talking before we went on the air here that when I was talking to Mikey Ruckus, he said, "So what do you like?" I said, "Well, I love 80s music." And so, and he said, "Let's do a little Def Leppard type theme." And so there you go. And and Chris really did a great job putting all that together. Wow, we're coming up on what, our 7th year?
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh my God. How's that possible?
So yeah, we started in 19.
Yeah, we started in 1997. So that's 37. Yeah. Listen, that's 7 years, man.
Yeah.
Not a lot of podcasts. I know some people who can't make it 7 episodes, much less 7 years. So
yeah,
it's a big deal for us to be right around the corner from that. So thank you guys for being a part of what we're doing. That's our third open, I suppose, because we had our OG one, and then the really fun, long-reigning WHW theme, and now a brand new look and feel, thanks to Mikey Ruckus, the theme extraordinaire for AEW, and Mr. Chris McDonald. They crushed it, dude, and did it very fast.
Great turnaround. Talented people can do that. So thanks to both of them. And it's we've been doing this for quite a while. In the podcast world, and I know I'm right about this, there are more shitty podcasts out there than there are good podcasts. I mean, I was listening to the podcast that I listen to mostly is John Boy and Billy's Big Show, and they're on another network than we are, and so I'm not going to say what network it is, but there's a lot of promos on there about podcasts. Listen to my podcast. I think I've said this before. One guy says, "Listen to my podcast when I go around the world and sample the great chocolates from around the world." I'm thinking, what? What the fuck?
Who the fuck cares?
Who the fuck gives a flying fuck? So I think you and I being able to do this for 7 years says a lot about this podcast. It says a lot about your efforts in networking. They add free shows, people. It's been good. So I know a lot of people said, "I'm going to start a podcast." And like you said, 7 episodes in, they say, "Nah, I'm not going to put the time in it anymore because it's not worth my time." But this has been worth our time on many levels. And so I just want to let everybody know I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate your support. And man, we're doing something pretty special today, Tony. I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
We just recently announced that you're finally taking your rightful place in the TNT Hall of Fame, receiving the Gordon Soley Award. And during our little clip there, where we rolled a little video to sort of highlight your career, we talked about, your first major event being Starrcade 83. So I thought, hey, not that this is the end of your career, because somehow, some way, you're now the voice of Collision on Saturday night as well. Congrats on that.
Thanks.
Let's go back to where it all started. So we're going to be watching your debut for Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and you've told the story before about what an honor it was to be able to go to Ric Flair's home and interview him, and what a big fan of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling you had been, and what a big deal it was for you. So we're going to watch that episode. We encourage you to watch along with us over on Peacock. It's season 11, episode 44. This aired October 22nd, 1983. Tony, it's pretty crazy to think, dude, your 40-year anniversary for your debut in pro wrestling is this coming Monday. So, I mean, when you really think about that, who has a 40-year career in anything? And this coming Monday will be your 40th anniversary. How about that?
Yeah. You know, obviously, I took 18 years off, but yes, 40 years ago, I did start doing wrestling. And let me say, and I've said this many times, I don't know if I've said it this way or not, but it was a dream come true. Now, my goal was always to be a Major League Baseball announcer, and I got to do some Major League games on the Braves Network with Leo Mazzoni as my color man, which was tremendous. It was, so I got to do that. But I was such a big Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling fan that being able to go to Ric Flair's house, as we're going to see, and do some things with Ric Flair was just like, I can't explain. I know, I remember my feeling that day, and I know here 40 years later, I can't explain in words how it felt, but I was pissed my pants excited, put it that way, to be able to do that, because I had spent so much time, effort, and money going to wrestling shows. That was during my high school and especially during my college years, that was the thing to do. I didn't go to concerts. I went to wrestling matches, and it was like a journey. It was like a destination. It was like a pilgrimage for all of us rednecks from Virginia, little town in Craigsville, Virginia, that went. So I even had a white Volkswagen, and a lot of times I would drive that to Greensboro with 4 of us in there, right? And one time we drove down, and it was pouring down rain. I'll never forget it. And a guy named Billy Fridley was in the back. And man, how fucking dangerous is this? We're flying down the road to Greensboro in a fucking Volkswagen Beetle. A head-on crash, we're all dead, right? There's nothing in front. And we're drinking beer. Okay? And it's pouring down rain, and Bill says, "There's something wrong back here." I went, "What?" Well, this Beetle that we had was a cheap-ass car. We bought it from a guy for a little bit of nothing. It was like, and it really gave me a lot of problems. And Bill said, "There's something wrong back here." And I said, "What?" And the water from the road was coming in the floorboard in the back seat. And they were, their feet were in water. And we're drinking beer, and it's pouring down rain, and we're going to wrestling. Man, the memories. So,
what year do you think that was, if you had to guess?
That would probably have been 78, 79.
Wow.
Around that time.
And think about that as a fan, just a handful of years later, here you are at Ric Flair's house, and you're getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. So, yeah, it has really been a great career, and it really has. And I did realize that this past Saturday when I started doing Collision, and
how about that, dude? I mean, what a vote of confidence. Here you are, right before your 40-year anniversary, getting another gig in prime time on TNT.
I had told Tony, and this was months ago. I had told Tony, I said, I would like another chance of doing play-by-play. And I said, I could probably do Rampage. And he said, "Okay, well, let me think about it." And I thought I was going to end up doing, play-by-play on Rampage. But then he hit me with this, and, you don't say, "Nah, I don't want to do that." You say, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it." And and I've told him this many times, and I'm sincere about this. I really am. Kevin Kelly is a great announcer.
Oh, yeah.
He is so smooth and so good. And I really, really enjoy working with him and Nigel. And I know we've only worked together like once, but we've been together backstage for a number of months now. So,
I got to tell you what I'm excited to hear about is, as folks are listening to this later today, when you go to TV and you run into Taz, and it'll be the first time you've seen him since you got a Saturday gig.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of shit. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course I am. And that's par of the course with him. If I didn't get shit from Taz,
he's mad at you.
That's right. It wouldn't be Taz.
On some level, that's how you know he's not mad at you, if he's giving you shit.
Right. Exactly.
If he's not giving you shit, he's got heat with you.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen Taz really, really mad.
I've heard it on the phone once.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it. And I'm not going to say what it was because it's in a
private wrestling business. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was the one that calmed him down, and it was talk slow, look him in the eyes, be very, very supportive, you know. But it was good. So listen, I'm one of the reasons I'm very fortunate about my career is the people I've been working with. JR, Gordon Soley, you, Kevin Kelly, Nigel, Excalibur, Taz. I know I'm going to miss him. Jesse Ventura, Bobby Heenan, Mike Tenay, Larry Zbyszko, Dutch Mantell, Kevin Sullivan. Holy shit. Dusty
Bob
Rhodes,
Caudle.
Bob Caudle, David Crockett.
David Crockett.
Yeah. How about the long laundry list of just tremendous announcers and great people that I've worked with. It's just absolutely amazing to me. So,
all right, guys, enter the room. Dig first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet; it's the cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like somebody gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. This ain't a supplement; it's an erection resurrection. Guys, we're not just talking about performance. This is about your legacy or your third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. You know, when you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Go discover your options right now at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use the promo code WHW at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head on over to bluechew.com for details and important safety information. And a big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. Well, let's do it. Without further ado, let's watch your debut, and what a special episode it is. You want to talk about signing up at the right time, the right place. Timing is everything. This is the episode where we're going to announce Starrcade 83. And I mean, this is real wrestling history, and this is going to hit you right in the feels, Tony, because this is what you grew up on. And again, as folks are listening to this coming Monday is Tony's 40-year anniversary in the wrestling business. So pull it up, season 11, episode 44, October 22nd, 1983. Tony, I'm locked and loaded on my side. Are you ready to roll on your side?
I'm ready to go. I've got a intro. It's from DJ Turnup, and I think it's the one we played last week. I've kind of got disorganized with how many he sent, because DJ sent me like 500 of them.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, DJ, this is you again. On Hood. No, that's not you. Hang on. On Hood. No, that's not him. On Hood. Yeah, I just like hearing that. On Hood.
By the way, our friend Crip Mac, friend of the show.
Crip Mac. He's a man, buddy. No, here comes from DJ Turnup. A shout out to Devin Wheaton. I'm not doing Tony Reed's rap anymore. However, I was on the way to the airport in Houston, I believe, recently, and the driver had rap on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he looked at me. He said, "You okay with this music?" He was really a cool kid. And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And he had a song on by Kanye West. And I listened to it, and I thought, that's a hell of a song. And he didn't say anything stupid, like hoes or,
You never know, homie. Might meet some hoes, homie. You need to pump your brakes and drive slow, homie.
So we get the old most complete form possible disclaimer. A lot of these old territory tapes, we don't have them in the most complete version, but we're doing the best we can. Here comes their theme song. Of course, we used that for Ric Flair's last match last year.
That's not the original Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling theme that I remember.
No, they couldn't lie. I'm
It's
sure.
a good one.
How about this look?
This is Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium, by the way.
I like that you know right away.
See those columns in the back? That's what gives it away. Yeah.
The new World Tag Team Champions, Rick Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. And we're going to watch them right here on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling in a tag team match against Bill Howard and the Magic Dragon.
Now, of course, you have said here before, you weren't the world's biggest Jay Youngblood fan.
No, look, I just walked into the backstage area, and so to speak, and I was brand new, and he had never really seen me before, right? So, and most everybody was receptive and very nice, except for him. So there you go. I don't understand why he was the way he is, but you know what? Fuck him.
So he was a known asshole.
I don't know if he's a known asshole, but he was an asshole to me.
Well, you knew him to be an asshole.
Yeah,
so.
I did. Right. But you know what? He's dead, so fuck him.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Be sure to check out He's Dead, So Fuck Him t-shirts available now over at lowestrules.com. I like that camera angle right there.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There's Jackie Crockett holding the ringside cam. Last
How
time
many people do you think were there?
what's how many people?
Yeah, because you can tell from that angle, it's not a huge building.
No, it's not. I don't know, maybe 1,500, you think?
I don't know. That might
1,000?
even be high. It looks like a Ring of Honor TV taping with the light trees in the background and all that. Like,
Yeah.
you go back and you look at early Ring of Honor stuff from, we'll call it 04, 05, 06. It looks a lot like this.
Yeah. I think that one shot that we saw, the back of Jackie's head,
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the camera that is on the set. The set was, as you look straight on at the ring, the set was to the right. And guys could walk out. I remember the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium and the Greenville Auditorium very, very well. But see, that's the set. And I think what they just did was swing the camera around.
I see.
When Bob Caudle would be standing there. And this is the building where I first stood with Bob Caudle doing something. I don't know what it was. Can't remember. Maybe I was on Mid-Atlantic at that time. I stood with Bob Caudle and we were just standing there waiting to get, and I just completely marked out on him. I told him, I said, Bob, I don't want to seem like a fanboy here, but standing next to you with a microphone, being able to do what we're just about getting ready to do, I said, this is one of the biggest moments of my life, buddy.
Mm.
And he was so nice and polite and receptive. You know how Bob is.
He's like everybody's grandpa.
Yeah. And so that was a big moment for me. It happened right in that building. As you can see, there are risers in the back on that side for the fans. And on the other side of those columns, those are seats for fans as well. So they could put quite a number of people in there.
This looks like the type of building that in the summer, you'd sweat your damn balls off.
Yeah. I don't remember that so much. I remember the Dorton Arena in Raleigh was the one that was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hated working there. Everybody did. Because it was
It's
like
a
a
beautiful
sauna.
building from the outside. Like it looks, with all the windows and stuff, it looks fantastic. But
It does, yeah.
yeah.
But it's because of all the glass and everything. It would get heated up. Look how young Steamboat is. But you know, with the exception of gray hair now, he looks pretty much the same.
Dude, he doesn't age. He keeps himself in phenomenal shape. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's got a really strict diet. You can tell he's in the gym all the time. I guess old habits die hard.
Yeah, he was a phenomenal star in the Mid-Atlantic. Phenomenal star. And I know fans remember him on a national basis, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and of course, WrestleMania 3 against Randy Savage, and then coming to work for WCW. But this was where he made his name. Ric Flair was the man he made his name with. And when we talk about Ric Flair matches, everybody thinks of '89 and that series with Flair and Steamboat, but there were so many phenomenal matches that fans on a national basis or even on a regional basis never saw unless you went to the Greensboro Coliseum. I saw them go 60 minutes in a steel cage in the Greensboro Coliseum and then come back and do 90 minutes on the return match. A 90-minute Broadway, as they say. Think about that.
Yeah, 90-minute match is crazy.
Yeah, 90 minutes, crazy. Steamboat's got many great stories about that. He's a great storyteller about that. But that, again, the greatest Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair matches were not seen on TV.
Yeah, they were in the 70s, right?
In the 70s, yeah. I believe I got it right in 78, or it may have been 77, but it's right around that time. 78, 77 is when he made his debut. And I remember, he came in, he had that lei on, right? And he was so handsome, had a great smile. You knew immediately he was going to be a star. And then he faced Ric Flair for the Mid-Atlantic Television Championship on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and beat Flair. Instant star. And Flair made him that way. So Flair knew, man. And, of course, he and Jay Youngblood went on to really have a great run, especially against Sergeant Slaughter and Don Kernodle, right? That was like called the final battle in Greensboro. There you see they get the win. And how
about the replay, the star effect, the big crossbody off the top?
Yeah. You ready to hit pause when they go to break?
No, let's keep rolling through.
All right, let's keep rolling through. 3, 2, 1. Come on, keep rolling. There you go.
How about the, I like that. Stay tuned for announcement.
All right,
when they come back, man, this is going to be, you're going to have a quote unquote reporter on the outside. It feels special. Let's track it.
Clary on special assignment reporting from Tampa, Florida. Across the street is the Hyatt Regency Hotel, where at this moment a special meeting of the National Wrestling Alliance Board of Directors is in progress. The primary purpose of this meeting is to select the site for the big return match. 7 times NWA World Heavyweight Champion and current champion Harley Race of Kansas City is to defend his title against the challenge of the former World Heavyweight Champion and current #1 contender Nature Boy Ric Flair of Minneapolis. The NWA Board of Directors has already announced that the match, when it takes place, will contain a no disqualification clause, and both men will meet inside a ring that will be surrounded by a steel cage. Promoters are here today from all over the world, including a group from here in Florida. Tampa Bay has already been selected as the site of Super Bowl 18, and the promoters here are hopeful of securing the bid, which would focus a tremendous amount of national and worldwide attention on the local scene. However, no announcement has been released up to this moment. Let's go inside to the meeting room and join the Dean of Wrestling Commentators, Gordon Sogley.
Well, thank you very much, Barbara. We're here in the boardroom now of the Hyatt Regency Hotel. In the closing moments of this very, very important meeting, promoters from all over the world are here waiting to find out the site selection for the return match of the World Heavyweight Championship. And I see
young Bill Alfonso. Fonzie's there.
Entering the room at this time.
With that little afro.
And, in just a moment or two, he will be making that all-important announcement regarding this return match. Let's turn it over now to Mr. Bob Geigel, president of the NWA.
Pursuant to the bylaws of the National Wrestling Alliance and in compliance with recommendations of the Site Selection Committee, we, the Board of Directors, are proud to award to James Crockett and Mid-Atlantic Promotions, Inc., the NWA World Championship rematch between 7-time world champion Harley Race and the #1 challenger and former world champion Ric Flair. Special vote of thanks to all the other promoters from all over the world who bid for the match. The unique qualities of Mr. Crockett's bid made his organization the unanimous choice of the board.
Thank you very much. This is a very happy day for me, people in our company. I'm sort of at a loss for words. I have a few notes here. Part of our proposal is based upon the importance of this match. They've been fights of the year, games of the year. Used to the 76ers and the Boston team used to be called the matchup of the decade. When Ali and Frazier fought, they called it the fight of the decade. Well, this is more than a fight of a decade. This match is not just for America, it's for around the world. And Ric Flair and Harley Race, I mean, to get this match for Greensboro is just unbelievable. And we're going to call this match the Starrcade 83 for Greensboro, North Carolina. And the match is going to be scheduled for Thursday, November the 24th, Thanksgiving night, 1983. I want to thank the board of directors and President Bob Geigel and all the members of the National Wrestling Alliance in allowing Jim Crockett Promotions to have.
You know, of course, via satellite, we do have both the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race standing by. We're going to get his reactions, and then we're going to be going to the #1 challenger, Ric Flair. So let's switch now to Kansas City and to the 7-time World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race.
David Manning with KTVT Channel 11. Harley Race has just arrived here at the Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum. Harley Race, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I'm wondering if you've heard the news. Via satellite just very few minutes ago, you were probably on the way here to the Coliseum. Jim Crockett, via satellite, has announced he has outbidded every promoter, not only in the United States, but the world, and the match between you and Ric Flair is scheduled for Thanksgiving Day in Greensboro, North Carolina. Your reaction to that, Mr. Race?
My reaction to that is what I figured it would be when I knew all this was coming down. They're all in Tampa, Florida, bidding on this. Well, I had people in there bidding too. Evidently, Crockett has come up with more cash than any other man in the history of the world is willing to come up with. But let me tell you something, Crockett. It's not making me the least bit happy going to Greensboro in Flair's backyard to wrestling. But if that's what every promoter on the face of the earth have arrived at, then that's the way it will be. But let me tell you something, Crockett, and also you, Ric Flair. Crockett, you just arranged a match to eliminate Ric Flair from wrestling. You have put up the money to eliminate a kid from wrestling. And Flair, let me tell you this. I promised you that I would not wrestle you in North Carolina or anywhere else in the Southeast. Well, you've pulled your strings, you've manipulated your people, and you've done it very well. Bob Orton Jr. and Dick Slater did a job very well. But what they did is not one thing compared to what I am going to do to you. You've done what had to be done, I guess, as far as you're concerned. You've got it exactly the way you want it. You forgot one thing, and the most important thing of it all. I am still world's heavyweight champion. I have been there 7 times around, and I'm not going to let you or any other human being disturb that.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. World champion Harley Race to face Ric Flair Thanksgiving Day
Here it comes.
in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Certainly some most interesting comments from 7-time World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race.
Drum roll, please.
When was the last time you saw this, Tony?
And to the
Maybe 4 years ago.
Ric Flair for his comments.
We're at the home of Ric Flair, where we've just seen the news that Jim Crockett Promotions has received the bid for the World's Championship match between Harley Race and Ric Flair. Rick, it has to be a tremendous moment in your life.
Oh, Tony, to call it a tremendous moment is putting it very, very lightly. I never dreamed that Jim Crockett Promotions would be able to bring this match back into the Southeast, much less Greensboro, North Carolina, which might as well be my home. You know, Jim Crockett is calling this event Starrcade 83, and I think that's fantastic. But over the years, a lot of the fans have said that I have a flair for buying nice clothes and a flair for buying fancy cars and a flair for wearing nice jewelry. And, you know, it dawns on me that something this fantastic and this magnificent in my life, I think that I'm going to call my quest for the World Heavyweight Championship a flair for the gold.
And so a flair for the gold, Mr. Crockett. I find that a very interesting comment from Ric Flair.
Well, not from Ric Flair. That is Ric Flair. I would like to make a few more comments, if I could, about this match, Gordon. 2 years from now will be the 50th anniversary of the forming of Jim Crockett Promotions. My father started promoting wrestling 48 years ago in the back room of a restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina. His dream was to bring the best wrestlers in the world to the Carolinas and give the people the matchups they wanted to see. My father died 10 years ago. He never saw Ric Flair. I think he would have thought Ric Flair was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He will have the opportunity on Thanksgiving night to prove it. Only 3 men have ever regained the title a second time. It is a great deal of pride that my two brothers, my sister, and I were able to put together this proposal that the NWA accepted, and that we can have the match that's bigger than the Century, but as we call it, Starrcade 83. And again, I would like to thank you to the fans who have supported the wrestling in the Carolinas and Jim Crockett Promotions. It is for you that we have done this. Thank you.
There you have it, the comments from Jim Crockett himself, the gentleman who has successfully bid and has received the site selection for the return match between 7 times World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race and the #1 challenger and former champion Ric Flair to take place in Greensboro, November 24th. And I might just point out that promoters and gentlemen from all over the world have been bidding on this. Eddie Graham in attendance here today, people representing Japan, Mexico, London, and all parts of the United States. Certainly a most auspicious occasion. It's too bad that we here in Tampa couldn't have garnered it along with the Super Bowl 84, but certainly the uniqueness of the proposal offered by Mr. Crockett, as you heard President Bob Geigel say, made him the unanimous selection. Our congratulations to all of you in the Greensboro area. You got a great event upcoming on November 24th. This is Gordon Soley on special assignment in Tampa.
Fans, how outstanding that is. It's going to be Starrcade 83. That's the announcement. And what an event it's going to be. And I know that Jim Crockett and his family have to really be proud of that tremendous accomplishment. And we're going to be back. We'll have more action right after we take this brief time out.
Tony, they're taking a timeout. I think we should too. I'm at 1839. I'm going to stop it down when we get to 1845.
All right. All right.
There we go. We'll go ahead and press pause at 1845, and I can't wait for us to talk about that. But first, life happens fast. 1 minute you're driving home after work, and the next you see flashing lights in your rearview mirror. Your heart skips, your hands tighten on the wheel, and you start asking yourself, what do I do now? That's when you need someone on your side. And with the Legal Buddy app, you can connect with a local attorney in seconds, not hours, not days, but right when you need help. Whether it's a DWI, a car accident, a criminal charge, or even just a traffic ticket, the Legal Buddy app puts real legal support right in your pocket. Imagine having an attorney on call, ready to guide you through some of life's most stressful moments. This isn't a call center. This isn't a waiting game. It's direct access to a lawyer who understands your situation and your community, and one who could step in right away. Think about it. When trouble knocks, do you want to face it alone? Or would you rather have the confidence of knowing a professional is already on your side? That's the peace of mind Legal Buddy gives you. And here's how easy it is. Download the Legal Buddy app at legalbuddyapp.com. Register today and use the referral code LEGAL for your chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Life is unpredictable. Accidents happen. Tickets happen. Mistakes happen. But when they do, you don't have to go through it alone. The Legal Buddy app, always on your side. Download the app today and enter the referral code LEGAL. So we're at 1845 on season 11, episode 44. I count us back in here in 3, 2, 1, play. We see Dick Slater, easy for me to say, stomping around the ring, taking off his robe, and we're going to get to some action. But man, I love that segment. I love the old boardroom feel. We tried to create some of that with Ric Flair's last match last year, and I loved Bob Geigel being there, and it was cool to hear at Eddie Graham shout out. And we saw Bill Alfonso, and I think that was Hiro Matsuda. Did you recognize anybody else besides Jim Crockett in the room?
Yeah, Jackie Crockett was in the room, and the Asian gentleman on the Crockett side was Duke Kiyomuka.
Okay.
He was the father of Pat Tanaka. That was Pat Tanaka's dad. Duke was very instrumental in the NWA back then, so he was there. And of course, Bill Alfonso, and then the guy on the Alfonso's left, I didn't recognize him. At first, I thought it might have been Mike Graham, but it wasn't. That's the only guy I didn't recognize.
What about the reporter outside? Did you know her, the lady?
Barbara Clary?
Mm-hmm.
I had met Barbara once. Barbara was a fixture on Championship Wrestling from Florida with Gordon Soley. Gordon would pitch to her at the desk, and she would talk about because if you'll recall, the Grahams were big into doing things for like the Boys Ranch and a lot of charities down in Florida, and she would announce some of the charities they were doing things for. So she didn't interview wrestlers, but if you look at some of the old Championship Wrestling from Florida tapes, she was on there, and they had her. If you go back and watch Starrcade '83, she was in the stands interviewing fans at Starrcade. So yeah, Barbara was a part of that TV. So that's why they had her there. There you go. As we're watching, Bob Roop is talking in a little box. And
for Harley Race to come to Ric Flair's backyard and have to put that.
That's Randy Orton's dad, Bob Orton, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Let me tell you, wrestling fans, something too. I personally am going to try to make sure that when the 24th rolls around, Ric Flair is not healthy enough to step into that cage.
So we've got the main event set.
Yeah.
You saw that. First of all, I thought Gordon Soley did a fantastic job.
He was great.
And I love the look. I love the set, the backdrop, the office setting. I thought Bob Geigel did a great job. But you could tell Jimmy was nervous.
Of course.
And, I know that he ran a hell of a promotion, and it was our great honor to get to interview him several years ago. One of the highlights of my wrestling experience. It's available on adfreeshows.com if you haven't seen it, but it was remarkable to see him way back then because, his business is about to explode. Starrcade '83 was the predecessor for WrestleMania, and they made this look and feel special. That whole via satellite, we know that was just a tape sent over from Dallas, but you saw David Manning, who was a member of the office there for World Class. And of course, they acted like Harley was just arriving to the building, yet his car was clean and parked backwards and showing off that Cadillac. And he clearly was not doing a scripted promo.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was effective. It was believable. And then we went to U-Man, and that looked like Flair's old sunken living room. And he was calm and cool and confident. And man, you were sitting at attention. You could tell that it was a big deal for you.
Yeah. It's amazing how things change in 40 years. And I was just a young baseball announcer trying out a brand new phony voice. We're here with Ric Flair. Rick, good to be talking to you, buddy. How about that? Jesus. Anyway, so a big deal for me, and it was great going back and watching that. And I think, if I'm right, we're going to see me later on in the show again. They also had the Bob Orton clip that you saw during the Dick Slater match. Is instrumental because Orton and Slater are going to be like Harley Race's hitmen.
Yes.
To try to prevent Ric Flair from getting to Starrcade. And I guess they're going to beat him up. I'm not sure what they're going to do before Starrcade. So turn around to the camera.
Slater getting the win.
Yeah. Tommy Young letting him know to turn around to the camera. Yeah. So this happened. I don't know. I can't remember the day of the week this happened, but I've told the story before. I did the work, and then like 2 days later, Frances said to me, she called me into her office at the ballpark. Frances said to me, she said, "Well, see, there you go."
Okay, here we go. Let's track it. You and Roddy Piper.
See, Starrcade 83, a flair for the gold on closed circuit. And Roddy Piper, it's going to be a big event.
Strangler Lewis, Luthez, you can name them all, but there's none that's going to be as big as Starrcade 83. For the first time in the history of wrestling, they're taking and putting the World's Heavyweight Championship in a cage. For the first time in professional wrestling in Savannah, you are going to be able to see a match that they said would never take place. Come high water tide, come nothing, we will never have this match. Finally, because we've been beating each other's brains out. Valentine's have been a running. I've been a running. I'm getting tired of chasing. They're going to take 12 foot of logger's chain, 12 feet, 40 pounds of chain. I want you to check it out. Sling it across the ring. Then they're going to take a dog collar, had him made up myself, went down to the pit bull factory. Got little nasty studs on it. Had that made special. You see, what that does is prevent them from grabbing it around the throat. Kind of makes the hands bleed. In Savannah, for the first time in the history of all professional wrestling, goes back 200 years, you're going to see something you never seen in your life before. Take these collars and attach them to two men. Somebody's neck gets busted in a match like this. Somebody's career gets ended in a match like this. Oh, you can't grab the throat, but you can choke. You can do anything you want to do with 12 foot of chain. No here, no, I can't hear. But one thing I've learned to do when it comes to Valentine, especially Savannah, I know how to hang them on.
You could tell, man, the charisma just dripping off Roddy Piper there. Just so everybody understands the context, this is October of 83. 3 months later, in January of 84, is when we would see the debut of Piper's Pit for the WWF.
Yeah.
16 months later is where Piper would be on MTV for the War to Settle the Score, doing all the mix-up with Cyndi Lauper. A month after that, 17 months after what we just saw, is the first WrestleMania. So it's pretty interesting when you take a look at the first Starrcade and the first WrestleMania. There are some people who were, able to bounce around from both promotions, but who better to be at the forefront of both than Roddy Piper? And it's crazy to think just 3 months after this, man, the debut of Piper's Pit, which became an institution so far ahead of its time. A really, really fun promo there. But the interview sort of cut off a story you were telling where a couple of days after this aired, when you had visited with, or maybe not even when it aired, but a couple of days after you went to Flair's home,
right.
Frances Crockett called. What'd she say?
First thing she said, I never will forget how she prefaced this. She prefaced this. She looked around her desk. She says, "Well, I was afraid this was going to happen." And I went, "Oh shit, what are we talking about?" She said, "Jimmy and David want you to come to the studio and start doing backstage local promo interviews." And of course I was excited and she was not. And she said, "I'm going to tell you that you're going to get caught in the middle here." She said, you work for me and your job is baseball. And you've got to really be dedicated to that. But they're going to want you to do work for them, and they're going to continue to pull you back and forth. And it did. It caused a lot of friction. She threatened to fire me a couple of times because I wasn't doing enough work in baseball. Because not only did I was the announcer, but I had to sell ads. Go out and hit the street. That was part of the gig. But I spent a lot of more time, doing work down at the wrestling office. And then as we moved into the TBS era, there was a couple of times that we would do a simulcast. I would have Eli Gold in Birmingham. We would do a simulcast where the Charlotte O's would be playing the Birmingham Barons, and we would pick up the broadcast. And why? Because on a Saturday I was still at TBS. Now, we did it in the mornings, but there were a couple of times that my flight was delayed getting into town. So it put a strain on me. It really did. But what you saw there started me doing more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, I may be wrong, but that interview with Piper, although he talked about Savannah, I don't know why there. That interview with Piper, that was a place card or a place setting, and that's where they rolled the local promos in. And we got Ric Flair coming up.
A big promo from Flair. That was, by the way, Mark Lewin and Kevin Sullivan in tag team action.
Yes.
Here's Bob Caudle with Ric Flair. Let's hear from him.
Feeling even more than that. Here you are. You're going to be one of the main parts of the biggest sports event ever. One of the biggest in history, Rick. Starrcade 83. What do you think of that?
I'm going to start off by saying thanks very, very much to Jim Crockett and his family. I know that they outdid themselves when they went to Tampa. They're prepared to do anything they had to do to bring this match into the Carolinas, into Greensboro. And let me say thanks to all the people out there that have written the letters and written the cards and have stood behind not only Jim Crockett Promotions all these years, but have stood behind Ric Flair. This is an example, I think, of what attempting to live right can do for you. Not that I've always lived right, but once in a while I've tried to. And that's the way I feel. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me since the night that I won the World Championship. This has given me a second opportunity in a cage match with no disqualification. And all I've ever said is that I need an opportunity to wrestle Race one-on-one where he can't get himself purposely disqualified, where he can't have someone run in and save him, where he can't walk away from the ring when the going gets tough. This is all I've ever asked for. The rest is up to me. Now, Race and I have competed against each other for a number of years now. He's a tremendous champion. But I've always felt that given the opportunity, the right circumstances, I could beat Harley Race, and I feel I can do it now. The circumstances are everything is going my way. Greensboro, North Carolina, the cage, no DQ. I know there's going to be a lot of obstacles. I'm talking about Orton and Slater.
So you got to watch them.
That's right. But I'm ready, and I'll be in the greatest shape of my entire life when I meet Race in Greensboro.
I haven't always lived right, but I've tried.
A couple times. But a couple of times I've tried. Yeah, Rick. A couple of times. There's Bugsy McGraw here in this next matchup. But I'm thinking that the interview I did with Piper, I've told the story before that we were doing a lot of interviews that day, and Piper walked in the back. His flight just got in. He walked in the back, and Gene Anderson said, "Go do a promo for us." And he walked up with that chain around his neck and did that. It was the first time I held the microphone for him. And I thought, what a fucking talent. They got Angelo Mosca talking now in the little box, doing like a little boxes. Little boxes.
Thanksgiving, a day to be reckoned with. November 24th. The two combatants, Ric Flair and Harley Race. Two people with a quest in mind to become world champion. One is a champion, one is got the word former attached to his name. And I assure you, Ric Flair doesn't like the word former. Somebody wants him to be a former when it's always been said.
Man, the crowd was really hot for that, sort of drowning out Angelo Mosca. But what's interesting to me is, how different promoting is from then to now. They're pushing an event on November 24th. This aired on October 22nd. So you're talking about, a month and 2 days later.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like they're putting Royal Rumble tickets on sale right now for January. End of January is going on sale right now. So you're talking months and months and months later.
Yeah. Well, and that's because those events are, now established. So a lot of fans just hear Royal Rumble, they want to be there. And this Starrcade was very new. Now, It's interesting, not only interesting, but we've talked about it before. That this was Dusty's booking. If you have something very big.
Oh wait, here we go. Let's talk.
Crockett. There's nothing at all that makes me happy about this, being fenced into a cage, especially in Greensboro. In your backyard, I said it'd never happen, but you undercut, backstabbed, and outbid every other promoter in the world to come up with it. Well, now that you got it, now that it's all arranged, you're both sitting back gloating and thinking that you've got me right where you want me. Well, let me remind you of a few things. A lot of people have thought they put Harley Race exactly where they wanted him. Well, 7 times around, I proved every damn one of you wrong. And I'll guarantee you this, in Greensboro, Flair, I'm going to prove you wrong.
This time, we're very pleased to announce Savannah, Georgia has been selected as one of the sites to see Starrcade 83, A Flair for the Gold on closed circuit. We have Greg Valentine with us, and Greg, it's going to be a big night for professional wrestling.
Probably the biggest night professional wrestling has ever had. Starrcade 83. Like in football, you've got the Super Bowl. Baseball, you've got the World Series. Wrestling, you've got Starrcade 83. Put together by Jim Crockett Promotions, closed circuit in Savannah, Georgia. But I think it's a real downfall for the National Wrestling Alliance to sanction a match like Roddy Piper's been talking about, a dog collar match, putting me, the greatest United States champion of all time, with a dog collar around my neck, with a 20-foot chain linking us and Piper together. I don't like it, and I'm going to try to get out of it, but it has been signed. They say I've got to show up. Piper, just remember, it's a dangerous match. It could be dangerous for you.
We'll go ahead and take a timeout right there. I'm at 35-44. I'm going to stop at 50.
Okay.
There it is. We'll take a timeout right now. All right, guys, by now you know I love talking about old wrestling, and the only thing I like talking about more is saving people money. Legitimately, if you're in an apartment, what are you waiting for? Let your friend in the mortgage business show you how easy it is to become a homeowner. And I'm really talking to you. If you're a homeowner right now and there's more month at the end of the money, we can help. We're routinely helping our podcast listeners consolidate all of their debt into one much lower monthly payment. And I'm talking to you if you feel stuck making the minimum payment on your credit cards. Did you know that you can skip your next 2 house payments at savewithconrad.com? That's right. That's your single biggest bill, and you don't have to worry about it until December. But come December, what if you could pay your house off faster with cheaper monthly payments and finally pay off your credit cards once and for all? We're routinely helping our podcast listeners just like you do that for their family. And if you feel stuck making the minimum payment, buddy, we can help. You see, not only is the interest that you pay on those credit cards sky high, it's also not tax deductible. And I've always been of the mindset that once you owe it, it's up to you to figure out how to pay it back. Doesn't it make the most sense to pay it back at the best rate possible, at the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how easy it is and how much money you can save right now for free. Here's the bottom line. The worst case scenario is you spend 10 minutes with us and we say at the end, hey, you know what, dude, you've got a pretty good deal. Just keep doing what you've been doing. But what if we could save your family $1,000 a month? Find out how easy it is right now at savewithconrad.com. And think about this. What if you applied that savings to your house payment and paid your house off faster? What if you could pay your house off 5, 10, 15 years sooner? We're doing it every single day, and we'd love to help your family do it today at savewithconrad.com, or just drop me an email at conrad@savewithconrad.com, or give us a call toll free at 888-425-0105. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender, savewithconrad.com. Let's do a countdown here. We're at 35:50, and we'll get started here again in 3, 2, 1, play. And we see the Assassins. Of course, one of those is Nick Patrick's dad, and there's Paul Jones. But man, that promo from Harley and then a promo from Greg the Hammer Valentine, we're cooking with gas. We're really hammering Starrcade.
Yeah, this is obviously a Savannah tape because we're promoting the closed circuit in Savannah, because we closed circuited everywhere. In your talks with David, did they ever talk about how much they made or how well they did on the closed circuit places? Because they would close circuited to here in Savannah, to Greenville, to many of the places in the Mid-Atlantic.
No,
We
we
haven't
haven't
talked about
gotten there yet. We've been
Yeah.
discussing 1985 right now, so we haven't gotten to 1986 yet. But we're right around the corner from talking about Starrcade in '85, so we'll certainly be talking about that in the coming months. We got lots of questions from our live studio audience. By the way, when you sign up for the WHW Monday Patreon, that's patreon.com/WHW Monday. Not only do you get the shows early and ad free, but you also get to be a part of the live studio audience. Bryant has a question here.
Okay.
Bob Caudle and Gordon Soley do the commentary for Starrcade.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time I remember them together. Why do you think they didn't work together more often?
Because they were in different territories. Bob was
Yeah.
in the Carolinas and Gordon was in Florida. And Gordon did championship wrestling from Florida. Bob did Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and they wanted to be, it was obviously they wanted to be different. So that's the reason. Can I inject something here? Interject something?
Please.
The other assassin, the assassin that you're seeing right now, is Hercules Hernandez.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to go on to do pretty well for himself
Yeah.
in the WWF.
Yeah. Or as we called him back then, he was Ray Hernandez, and we called
Right.
him Ray, and and Jody did all the talking for him,
Mm-hmm.
and Ray would just stand there.
Really
but-
strong promo.
Yeah. Oh man, he was great. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in as the assassins are in the ring.
No, I'm glad you did. Yambag Jones wants to know, is it me, or did it still look like Steamboat could go when he showed up on Collision?
Yes, he could, but he wouldn't because Steamboat's had his injuries and had his problems. But physically he could go. But
I think he did his last match last November, Starrcade weekend or WrestleCade weekend in Raleigh at the Dorton Arena.
it's funny because Steamboat's appearances that he made for us, I was kind of the middleman there because I know Ricky and Tony would go to me and said, we need Steamboat here. Can you talk to him about this and that? And I would talk to Ricky, and Ricky would be very cautious at the beginning and say, well, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do this. But then when he got to the arena,
it all changes.
It all changed. He got into the excitement of it. And it was just great working with him. It really, really was.
Bryant wants to know, when you did interviews for the first time with all the wrestlers, who was the one person you were most excited to meet and interview?
It was Roddy Piper. There was no question. Piper did the best backstage interviews of anybody. You saw how animated he was with the dog collar. That's how he was in all of them. So there was no question it was Piper. The one I was most excited to meet was later on WCW Saturday night at Center Stage when I got a chance to interview Blackjack Mulligan.
Mm.
And I even said it in that interview. I don't know where it is. I said in the interview, I said, I was a big fan, and it's a big deal for me to hold the microphone for this man, Blackjack Mulligan. So that was the exciting moment for me. But during that time when I first started, Blackjack was not around, but Roddy Piper was the best, and I was the most excited to meet him. So there's those damn assassins and Paul Jones.
Yeah, the Assassins have lost the match, but they're winning the war. A big post-match angle here, really hurting. Bryant wants to know, will there be a top guy / low-key big hog event at the Hall of Fame for all of us to help Tony celebrate properly? I know I'll be there.
Oh,
Stay
Brian.
tuned, man. We don't have an official plan yet, but that sounds like a good idea. It certainly crossed our mind, but we got to work out some of those logistics. But we're just excited that he's in the Hall of Fame. Oh, look who's coming to make the save to a big pop. There's your boy Bugsy.
Bugsy McGraw coming in.
Clearing it out with a chair. And this is the era where steel chairs were not really commonplace. Years later it would be, but 1983, steel chairs weren't super common.
Yeah. Hey, I also want to make note.
Oh, look, he's going after Jody's mask.
The mask. I think it's worth noting because she was our friend. The late great Peggy Latham is in the stands.
Oh, do you see her?
I believe that is her with the red, white, and blue and white sweater on. The cameraman's right in front of her now, walking right past her.
I see. Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah. She was all
and I
the
miss
events.
Peggy.
Yeah.
No, I miss Peggy. What a
I
great
do too.
human being. One of the nicest, most fun, most genuine people
Yeah.
who just absolutely loved this era of professional wrestling.
And now that I look, I may be wrong, but I thought it was her. I know that's a lot of her friends that are there. And she came to all the events. So she's around there somewhere. Yeah, I think that is her.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anyway, what were we talking about before?
We were talking about how excited you were to meet Roddy Piper.
Yeah, it was great stuff. It really was. Oh, we were also talking about that question about all of us coming to the Hall of Fame ceremonies.
Oh, look, another promo from Valentine too in the same night. I guess one was local.
Right.
That's all I think I would have to say to you.
Well, Bob Cotto, I would like to convey to the people, the wrestling fans out there watching the TV program, how I feel about what the National Wrestling Alliance is doing to Harley Race. They are setting him up. You understand me? He is the greatest world champion of all time, just like I'm the greatest U.S. champion of all time. 7 times. And the 7th time he won that world championship, he beat Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now he's got to come back. Got to come to Greensboro, North Carolina. Ric Flair, might as well say Ric Flair's hometown, his home ground. You know, like baseball, football, basketball, you know, these particular sports, somebody has their own hometown behind them.
Home court advantage.
Well, that's right, home court advantage. Well, Ric Flair is going to be just like being at home in Greensboro in that ring right there. And Harley Race, I can just say I feel sorry for Harley Race because Flair has the advantage. He's going around riding on Crockett's coattails because Crockett's got a lot of money, and they brought it into Greensboro, North Carolina. You know, I would feel the same way if Roddy Piper got the National Wrestling Alliance to condone a chain match or a dog collar match, whatever you want to call it, a Scottish death match. I would feel the same way. It's a disgrace, and I'm disgusted at the National Wrestling Alliance.
All right, fans. The U.S. champ, Greg Valentine, right there. Gary Hart and Dick Slater. Gary?
Well, I would just like to make a quick little, give you a little of my philosophy. If the National Wrestling Alliance really would like to do something and not be prejudiced, they should remove that mask from Charlie Brown, who everyone knows is Jimmy Valiant.
All right, Dick and Dick Slater. Dick, we got just a few seconds in here.
You know how elated I am? You know how happy I am about it? $25,000 I got a call from a man today. $25,000 he spent on getting rid of Ric Flair. Well, Ric Flair, you still got to contest with Bob Orton Jr. and Dick Slater before you make the claim.
And see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
Until then, so long for now. What a fun sign off, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how fun was that, dude? I like that song. So what'd you think, man? This Monday, 40 years in the wrestling business. That's where it all started. Do you get a little nostalgic saying this back?
Yeah, I do. It makes me think of my career, and it makes me think of how long I've been doing it. It also makes me think of how quickly things go by, because it was an exciting moment in my life, and in many ways it feels like it just happened. In many ways it feels like it was a long, long time ago. But more than anything else, it makes me realize how fortunate I've been on many stops in my career. I mean, I was just a fat redneck from Craigsville, and I got a chance to do what I love, baseball. I got a chance to do what I love, wrestling. And I've said this before. Everything that I wanted to do in life, professionally, I've done it, really.
Yep.
I did baseball, did wrestling, worked for the biggest radio station in Atlanta, WSB. When I got there, I remember thinking, hey, I would like to do some Braves stuff, and they put me on the Braves network. And then I said, hey, I'd like to do some Georgia Bulldog work. And eventually, through efforts of my own, I was the producer of the Georgia Bulldog Network, and did some coaches interviews with Mark Richt, and did his show. And So everything that I wanted to do, every little goal of mine that I wanted to do, I've done. And not many people can say that. Yeah, because you got to persevere. I mean, you really have to persevere and hang in there. And I say hang in there. I tell kids all the time when they ask, give me some advice. And my advice is hang in there. And you've got to hang in there. You got to be around. The reason they chose me to do that interview with Ric Flair was two things. Number one, because I talked to Frances about it and bothered her about it. And number two, I was just there. I happened to be around. Right place at the right time. Tom Romanesco, who was the general manager of the first baseball team that I worked for, the Greensboro Hornets, in 1981, where I left Greensboro with a wife. Tom Romanesco told me, he said, luck is a part of the game. He said, but you make your own luck by hard work and just being around. And I really think that's the deal. I was around when they needed someone for the Georgia Bulldogs. There I was. They needed someone to do some work for the Atlanta Braves. There I was. When WCW went tits up, Tony Storm, thank you very much. When WCW went tits up, that day I had an interview with WSB and got a job there. So I was just, again, you make your own breaks. I really do. I really think so. So, and also I think, I started at a time to where the announcing profession was competitive back then, but nothing like it is right now. Man, it's competitive. Back then, not everybody wanted to be a wrestling announcer, right? Because it had a stigma. But there's a lot of people who'd love to be wrestling announcers now. And
but you keep taking all their jobs.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're around.
Yeah,
you're at every show. You're around.
I'm around. It's funny. They did an interview with me for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. It was like a little thing. I wish I could find it. And
when was it?
Oh God, I don't know. I know I've got it here somewhere. It's
way back when.
Way back. It was probably like in '84 when I first started. And they just was like question and answer. And one of the questions was, what do you say to a young person who wants to become a wrestling announcer? And my response was, don't call Jim Crockett. We've got enough already.
I love that.
Yeah. And Johnny Weaver read that and like just howled laughing. So I'll have to find that. That's somewhere around here. Anyway, so yeah, just got to persevere, guys. The break's not going to always go your way, but and of course, then again, you never know how great your life is going to be until you meet Conrad Thompson.
Oh my God. Will you stop?
And start doing this podcast and turn things around. So there you go.
Dude, 40 years. Happy anniversary, Tony. It was a great honor to be able to watch this back with you. But right now, it looks like it's about that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time, but we appreciate everyone for being with us. We appreciate all the accolades. Did I say accolades?
We count it. We
okay, accolades. And our thanks to Chris McDonald, Mikey Ruckus for the new theme song, Dave Silva for being a fuck up, and for all of you with us on What Happened When. We come to you each and every Wednesday on Cumulus Westwood 1, but Mondays we come to you ad-free on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday, and of course, adfreeshows.com.
On hood.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. and you want to talk about early, you can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.